Hello, this is U.S. Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I'm here live to take your questions. I am also here to talk about a topic that I know will interest you, and it's how to get the work permit today. I'm going to tell you the ways that I get my clients the work permit. In the meantime, go ahead and put your questions in the comments so that I may answer your questions. As soon as I'm finished just talking, giving you a summary, because this getting a work permit, I know last week I covered this on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and it took a whole week for me to go over some of those options to get the work permit. So it could take me a whole week to talk about ways, but I just want to give you a general idea of how I go about getting my clients the work permit. Right now, go ahead, put your questions in the comments, and as soon as I'm finished, I'm going to scroll through the comment section to answer some of your questions. So put them in from early on, so I'll see them and be able to answer them as soon as I'm finished. Now, I'll get this question. I'm here on a B2. Can I get my work permit? So it doesn't exactly work this way. To get the work permit, you have to qualify for another type of immigration benefit. And so, what I do in order to determine whether my clients are eligible for the work permit is to also do a detailed evaluation to decide if they are qualified for a benefit that can get them the work permit. So if anyone is telling you they can get you the work permit, but they have not qualified you for any other type of immigration benefit, they just told you, I'm going to submit an application for your work permit, be very suspicious about what that person has up their sleeves, because you cannot just get a work permit. You have to be able to qualify. Now, when I say qualify, I mean, do you qualify for example, do you qualify for your through a family member? Do you qualify through a spouse? Do you qualify through other means, like through a T visa as a victim of trafficking, or through another, like a victim of crime? Do you qualify through asylum? So there are different ways to qualify. And one of those ways you could qualify for, but I have to do a detailed evaluation to determine whether you qualify for those. What I can say in a nutshell is this: if you are here in the United States, you have a US citizen or a legal permanent resident spouse, you have a parent, you have a, oh, hold on for a minute. So I'm seeing here, there's no volume. Okay. Just let me know here on TikTok if you're able to hear me. If not, then I have to fix that later. Let me know if you can hear me. If not, then I'll have to fix that later. Okay, so if you have a US citizen or legal permanent resident spouse, a parent, or a citizen son or daughter who's 21 and up, then you could qualify, right? If you are afraid to go back to your country because you are being persecuted, you are being targeted in your country, then this may be for you. And when I say targeted, is it based on your identity? Is it based on a characteristic that you can't change? And it could be your religion, could be your ethnicity, could be your family affiliation, could be the way that the politics. It could be that you're a community activist, and now you're being targeted because of that. If you have a fear of returning to your country, then we need to talk about um, you qualifying for asylum. Now, another thing is, if you have been here in the US, you've worked for an employer, you've been with an individual here in the US, and you felt like they took advantage of you. They took advantage of you because you were here without status. They told you to do work in their house or told you to work for their business. I often say this: if you're in someone's house, whether it's your intimate partner, whether it's an acquaintance, a friend, a relative, just someone who asked you to come to the US to stay with them, they're hosting you, and you're starting to feel like Cinderella, right? You remember the fairy tale Cinderella, where she had the evil stepsisters and the stepmother, and they put her to work in the house. And she really didn't feel like she had anywhere to go. That can be a form of trafficking and qualify you for the T visa. So that in itself also can bring you relief. Um, if you are have been the victim of a crime and you reported that to police, then this can qualify you for the U visa. So there are different options here that are available, not just getting married to someone, but if you have had certain experiences in the United States, such as ones I talked about regarding the T visa, that can qualify you for relief. Or if at this time you're afraid to return to your country, that can qualify you for possible asylum. But with the asylum, don't wait too long to explore whether you qualify for asylum, because it could be too late. You must not wait for 365 days past the date that you entered the US to apply for this. So you have to make sure that you determine whether you qualify. So, in a nutshell, the work permit, how do I get the work permit for my clients? Is I first have to determine, is there any other form of relief that they qualify for under immigration law? I don't just look at whether you have a spouse or a family member. I look at all the different avenues to get the work permit. And some of those maybe you qualify for adjustment of status to get your green card. Some of those maybe you qualify for different types of statuses, like the T visa or the U visa or asylum. So what you need to do, I'm going to leave it to you to call, schedule an appointment, and then we can do that evaluation to determine what avenue is there for you. Because I do know that there are right now, especially for those of you who are in Florida, it is nerve-wracking. I am practicing here immigration law here in Florida, and it certainly does not make my job any easier. And so I understand the fears and the struggles here. And now is a time that I'm pretty sure you're trying to think of ways that may work for you to be able to fix the situation, so you don't necessarily have to leave Florida or live in the shadows in Florida. And this is what I do help my clients with, whether you're here with status or out of status. I help you to be able to get back on track to fix your immigration status. So go ahead, give me a call and schedule that appointment so we can get started ASAP on determining whether a work permit could be qualified for a work permit through another benefit. But the work permit does not work where you can just come here and apply for a work permit. You have to do an evaluation to determine whether there is something else that qualifies you for the work permit. So, because the work permit is usually granted here in the United States while you're applying for another benefit. And there are types of benefits that people don't often think about. And I, as an attorney, I know about it, I'm more educated about it. And so I'm able to sift out those types of qualifications that my clients have that they could not identify before. So go ahead. Now go to the link in the profile. The number is going across the screen on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Use that number. Scheduling coordinators are available now to get in touch with you or to speak with you on the phone and to schedule your appointment. If you don't want to call, you don't have the time right now, you can always go to the link in the profile. The link in the profile will take you to the website where you can schedule your own appointment. Really easy. and the calendar is filling up. So I want to make sure that you get the help you need. I don't want more time more time that needs to pass. I don't want more time to pass that needs to be able to help you to get the help you need. So go ahead and schedule that appointment on your own, and you will get on my schedule and be confirmed once you take the steps through the form. It's really easy, and you make sure you tie down that time so we can talk in detail to determine what could possibly what benefits are there out there available for you that you may not have thought about before. And that's how I approach my consultations. Is I look for solutions that because one thing I hear is, some of my clients, where we have found solutions, they would say to me that, and previous attorney told them the only way they can get the green card at this point is to get married. And that's not necessarily true, but I mean, I hate to say that because marriage may not be something you want to do, right? But I suppose what the attorney is saying is if your circumstances are to change, it's going to be through marriage. But that attorney may not have looked at all your options. They may not have asked you detailed enough questions to determine whether there are other options that are available. And that's what attorneys should be doing. Attorneys need to be sifting through all possible options, not just the option through marriage. And so I think because of those types of evaluations, a lot of people think the only way that they can get the green card is through marriage. And that's not true, right? Or status is through marriage. Now I'm going to answer questions. So go ahead, put those questions. I can get to you right away. Hi there, Alexia. Nice to see you. Is the interview waiver real? Yes, it is. Now, the interview waiver for some people, they are picking and choosing who they choose to waive interviews for, but it is happening right now. They're trying to waive interviews to move the process along faster to get permanent residence, and some types of visas as well qualify for the interview waiver. Why would they apply fingerprints to my I-485, I-360, then 9 months later they apply it to the C9, I-765 application in VAWA? So I'm not sure why, but it sounds like good news. If they applied it, that means that they're not going to call you to do another biometrics appointment. I don't know. Maybe they reviewed your case later on and decided to apply the fingerprints. How long does it take once application is submitted with sponsorship, and what will be the first document received? So the first document received is a receipt notice. I don't know what application you're applying for, so I wouldn't be able to tell you, a specific timeline. But if you're talking about a sponsorship in regards to family, then you could be looking at, 2 to 3 weeks to get the receipt notice. And then if it's adjustment of status, prepare for a process that could go from 9 months to over a year. When you receive prima facie, what does it mean in the VAWA case? So it means that right now they believe you qualify. If they had to make a decision today, it would be an approval. They don't need anything further from you right now. However, it's kind of like a pre-approval. So, the best way I can explain this to you is if you're buying a house, and while you're in the process of applying for a mortgage, the bank releases a pre-approval notice to say, here's the amount you're qualified for. Go ahead, go shopping for a house and use this letter to show that you've been pre-approved. When you put the offer down on the home and they're ready now to disperse the money, that's when the bank is going to do a more detailed review to decide whether they're going to give you a final approval and give you the money you need to finalize the house. It's similar with this in that this prima facie is kind of like a pre-approval before you get the final approval. They're giving this to you to say, here's something that shows you've applied, you may qualify, but we're still reviewing. So in the meantime, you can take this document and go to your state to find out if you can qualify for certain benefits. In the meantime, they don't want to stop you from possibly getting your ID or your driver's license or your certain benefits to help support your family or to get housing for yourself. No, not all states will give you these benefits. You have to check with the state to see which ones will give you certain benefits based on that prima facie. Um, How can a work permit be accelerated? So you have to usually have a basis. You have to show economic loss to someone or a business. You have to show humanitarian need. During the COVID, they did speed up processing for healthcare workers and childcare workers. So that may also be a way to ask them to speed it up. When does the new immigration filing fees come into effect? So I don't believe there's a date yet, but we're looking at possibly later on this year to see those fees going up. Um, Hi there, Julian. It's nice to see you. All right, so I have to head out, but I'm just gonna quickly see if I can answer another question. All right. My case is pending since August 2022 for marriage with USC. Still up until now, I haven't received not even an EAD. If I pulled over by ICE with new Florida law, will they deport me? Unlikely that they're just going to, first of all, law enforcement, the state law enforcement can't deport you. You're pulled over by ICE. They can certainly detain you if they believe that you are not a citizen and you're not here legally. However, you do have pending documents, and that may make it less likely that they're going to hold you. Another thing here to note is that they're not necessarily out there just picking up people and deporting them. They're focusing on people with criminal records and people with criminal records, people who are danger to the public, and so forth. So it's not necessarily working like this, where they're just picking up people and detaining them. And then chances are, ICE, they're not going to, usually it's going to be the police that pull you over. So you want to make sure you are complying with the laws, that you have a valid driver's license, and if not a Florida license, at least an international license. After July 1st, that state license is going to be, it's going to not be recognized and you would be cited for it. So be very careful. Um, so I always tune into your live. I have sent you emails, but you haven't responded. So usually the response is that you have to schedule a consultation. You will not get legal advice by email. So go ahead and go to the link in the profile and schedule the consultation. It's very easy, and that's where we're going to be able to have a detailed conversation. Um, all right. Thanks everyone for your time. I'll be back tomorrow at around lunchtime where we can talk some more, and you save your questions for tomorrow. Thanks so much, everyone, for your time. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.